Best case comparison, worst case comparison time for Alexander Sarr, the player that most people believe will be taken first overall in this draft. He's fourth on our collective big board that we made here at Sleepers Media. And how this works, we're going to try and convince the other person that our comparison is better than their comparison. At the end of this video, we will determine collectively which comp we like more. What is your best case comparison for Alexander Sarr?
My best case comp for him is Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that he can have the shot blocking ability of Jaren. Jaren's jump shot's a little funky too, so I thought the connection might be there. You talk about this hitch that Sarr has, but I think that he can be a guy who's 7 foot, mobile, can guard multiple positions, and can block shots, and also be a guy who runs the floor and finishes as well. So yeah, I have it. I have him as that as my comp.
I like that comp. I have another comp that's very similar to Jaren Jackson, I think. Evan Mobley. And I actually am going to give a shout out to Riley Davis, who isn't here. This is one of those times that I just straight up copied his work.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
I I did. I perused. I went through the tabs in our Google sheet where we're making all of this together, and Riley Davis had his Alexander Sarr comps done before I did, and I couldn't. I started thinking about what my own were, and I just couldn't shake his two. I thought they were so good. So shout out to Riley Davis. I'm literally just copying his work here, but I do think Mobley and Jaren do a lot of the same things. I think Evan Mobley has a little more playmaking upside than Jaren Jackson does. Like you can kind of play through him a little bit as an offensive first option. And I think that's the hope. If you're drafting Sarr at 1, I think you're hoping he has a little bit more playmaking, scoring, all of it, like all around game than just 3 and D shot blocker and shooter.
The thing is, like Evan. Okay, before I pick here, do you think Evan Mobley is what he is right now?
Um, do I no, I think he's going to get better.
Okay. Before I settle on this and give you, because I think Jaren should win this one. Let's go to worst comp first before we decide.
Okay.
I had Nick Claxton as his worst case scenario.
Talk to me on that.
So Nick Claxton is a guy who, like you pointed out very, very eloquently in the other part of this video, he was a potential guy coming out of Georgia. He showed some things, but they're like, maybe he potentially could be that guy who is versatile, shoots the ball, athletic, above the rim, block shots. Up until this point, he's basically just been a shot blocker and he fouls a lot. So I can see that being the worst case scenario for Sarr. Just a guy who's a 7 footer, rotational big. That just block shots.
Okay. Here's my problem. Nick Claxton averaged a double-double this year. That can't be the worst case for Alexander Sarr. It just can't be. It can't be. It's too good.
But he's good though.
Yeah, but we're doing a worst case. You have to at least admit this, even though you're high on Alexander Sarr. There is a world where this dude is a total bust, like an
Yeah, sure.
absolute
Also,
out of the
I did
league.
not. I don't know what stats I looked at. I didn't know Claxton averaged a double double.
He was really good, and that's like I think everything you said about the way Claxton plays is true, applying to maybe what's the worst thing for Sarr, but like Claxton became a productive player. We can't compare Sarr to a dude that did that because I think you would admit too, there's a legitimate chance that this just doesn't work. Again, I'm using Riley Davis's comp. It cracks me up every time. I think it's so damn good. If his best case scenario is Evan Mobley, his worst case scenario is Isaiah Mobley.
Oh my god.
It is. It is. Hey, you know how everyone at college basketball was like, well, Isaiah can actually do everything that Evan can. And he was like a good player at the lower levels. And then he got to the league and just got completely overwhelmed and isn't going to crack the league at all.
That's hilarious. It's hilarious and it's also kind of true.
It's so good that you got to rock with it, Cart, because it doesn't make sense to do Jaren Jackson and Isaiah Mobley. It doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Best case is Jaren. Worst case is Isaiah.
His best case is Evan, who's a better player than Jaren Jackson. And if you, as an Alex Sarr believer, you should embrace that Evan Mobley is the better comp than Jaren Jackson because he's better. Siblings, come on.
Okay, they are siblings. All right, fine.
Riley Davis wins this round. I can't even take credit for it. It's so good. If you want to watch all our other player comparison videos, you can watch them on the channel right now. We have our first round of 5 up: Stephon Castle, Matas Buzelis, Donovan Clingan, Rob Dillingham, and Alexander Sarr. Click subscribe while you're over there. Thank you for watching. The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.